Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. Inside their mouth, truth to know day. Inside their eyes, corruption day. Inside their heart, wickedness day. Once they get into power, now when to then go gain. Now in their brain, then we type one man will change. In the name of change, why? Change. They combine those with change. Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. If they say make you vote for them, make you look well. If they say make you vote for them, make you shine your eyes, oh. They promise us water, we don't see. Up till today, we don't see. We not they get water. They promise us light, we don't see. Up till today, we don't see. We not they see the light. At all. They promise us road, we don't see. Up till today.
All right, welcome to the 360 opinion today, my people. How are you doing? I welcome every one of you to the program. Today is another day. Happy weekend to you wherever you're watching me from. Today is Saturday. Hopefully it's a good Saturday to you. Wherever you watching me from, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. What is going on in your own area? Welcome to 360. I just want to show you some video and analyze something that is a lot of people don't pay attention to. I understand there's a lot of things that is going on in Nigeria these days. It not make many people to pay attention to whatever is going on in their area. I understand, I know. But at the same time, we still have to keep pay attention to our own environment, okay? Don't let only the economy to be your concern, okay? If you don't pay attention to your area, there are many things that might happen, okay? For instance, the government is trying to go in war with another country. If you don't pay attention to it, I'm sorry, it might not be what you're expecting. So that's why I'm saying pay attention to whatever is going on around you, okay? I have a video I'm going to play for you from the net media. The net media analyzed that video. I've mentioned it before, why the president is trying to go on war with another country that is not even concerned him. When we're talking about the ECOWAS, Nigeria is not the only one in ECOWAS, okay? There are many countries, other countries in ECOWAS. But it looks like Nigeria is the one that wants to be the war front. And I have said it in my some of my video, the reason the president is trying to do that. Because he's trying to do anything in his power to stay in office. Because this tribunal might not go on his way. So they understand that. They understand the body language of the judiciary, and they understand what is going on now. That a lot of people pay attention to what is going on in the tribunal, and it might not favor them. So what they can do is what they're trying to get all the options, find every option they can to use to stay in power. And remember, by law, I mentioned it, if president wage a war against any other country, any president who, if any president who starts war with other country when he was in office, according to law, the law allow that president to stay in power and no election should be conducted during the war. That is what the Constitution said. So it means if the president finds his way to start fighting with Niger, it means there won't be any election during those time of war. every election will be grand. That is what the constitution says. So he knows that. That's why they trying to get all the options they can to use every avenue to use to start the war. So he knows if he can start the war, regardless of the outcome of the tribunal, if the tribunal said they should run the new election, they can't run it because the constitution said when there's a war, every election should be grand. So everyone that is in power at that time, either the governorship, president, every one of them will be in power until the war is over. But I have a video for you I need to play for you so that you can understand what I'm talking about. Just pay attention to that video. I think it's like a 40 minutes long video, but it's worth it. If you pay attention to it, he analyzed uh, what I said before in my last video. He analyzes for us the reason why he was trying to go in war with the Niger Republic. Not only because he is concerned about the Niger Republic. He's not concerned. He just wants to go in war with Niger Republic. That's it. So, I've said it. I'm going to play that video for you. And you will understand what I mean. Let me play that video. See, this politician, like I always telling you, this politician, they don't care about you and me. They only care about themselves. Okay? Don't get it wrong. The only time they care about you is when there's election. After the election, they don't care what is going on in your life. You're on your own. Because their own children is not going to be the part of the people that is suffering. If the war started, their own children is not going to be sent to the war. If they try to find people and they can't find more people in the military, they're going to start recruiting all the NYSC students. Going to start bringing all the NYSC students to the war front. That's what they're going to start doing. Because they see them as a reserve. All the NYSC students, they see them as nothing but a reserve that they can pull from them for the war. So, if the war started today and you are an NYSC member, don't think they can't pull you for the war. They can pull you by law for the war. So, when people don't pay attention and they think everything that's going on around the country is no matter to them, this is when you're supposed to pay attention. Let me play this video and then you see. Please help us like this video, like this program, share this program. You can share this program to anybody you want. And if you have something you want to say, you can call into the program. We have a WhatsApp number there. You can call to the WhatsApp number. We're going to bring it in. And then you can share your own opinion based on what is going on in Nigeria. We got a lot of stuff that is going on in Nigeria right now. A lot of people have sent me a lot of message, explain a lot of things that they are not feel comfortable to say live on their own Facebook or in the live program because they are too scared of the Nigerian state. Because it was a message, communication, so I can't really share it because of the privacy. But if I will see anybody that want to call in and share their own idea and opinion about what is going on, we will appreciate that. But for meantime, let's play this video and watch it and pay attention to what is going on right here.
Following the coup in Niger and the threat of military intervention if they don't quickly relinquish power, the threat is no longer a matter of if, but a matter of when. This is because Nigerian troops are now stationed near Niger to enforce a no-fly zone over Niger. Why is Tinubu bent on military intervention in Niger? Let's see 4 main reasons why he's doing it. Number 1.
Out of the four reasons, this one might be the major motivation to invade Niger. When the country is at war and Tinubu is still fighting for legitimacy, which might still take a few months to resolve, going to war will trigger Section 135, subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution, which will make him stay in power for up to 4 years. It says, if the Federation is at war in which the territory of Nigeria is physically involved and the President considers that it is not practicable to hold elections, the National Assembly may by resolution extend the period of 4 years mentioned in subsection 2 of this section from time to time, but no such extension shall exceed a period of 6 months at any one time. Many people are not paying attention. These people are desperate. They can go to great lengths to stay in power. The military intervention that is already underway with the deployment of Nigerian troops near the northern border with Niger to enforce a no-fly zone. This is an act of war, but that's not the first. The first one happened when he authorized the disconnection of electricity supply to Niger. Yes, this action is also an act of war. Despite the treaty that Nigeria signed with Niger in the 60s on the use of waterways and River Niger, and the fact that 70% of their electricity supply comes from Nigeria, you know what it means for a country to pull out of a treaty without warning. It means that country can be trusted to abide by agreements and treaties. Although he doesn't have the power to initiate war with another country without the express approval of the National Assembly, he has already taken actions to that effect. Many might argue that boots are not yet on the ground and he doesn't need any approval from National Assembly to move troops within the country. The truth is that in order to enforce a no-fly zone over Niger, the Air Force will need to intercept aircrafts in the air within their airspace, which might result in their firing a weapon. What if someone gets hurt and they retaliate? There are more than 300 Nigerians in IDP camps in Niger Republic. Instead of finding ways to resettle these people back to their homes in Nigeria, they are actively trying to wage war in a country that is hosting 300,000 Nigerian citizens. How about solving the problems that push these Nigerians to run to Niger Republic in the first place? You can't solve your security challenges, but you want to go and fight in another man's country. Even in Abuja, the seat of power, there are people living in IDP camps. They can't resettle them to their homes, but they want to go on an adventure in another man's land. There's no single benefit for Nigeria in this their adventure. Instead, we are losing money. We don't even have the money for this kind of experiment. Nigeria is simply broke. Look at the effect of the border closure. Long lines of trucks and coaches that will normally bring revenue to customs. Niger is a poor country. Sanctioning them will impoverish their people more. Besides, many of them support the military that took over power. Look at this banner, Abat la France, which means down with France in English. So why are they crying more than the bereaved? Why the focus on Niger? This kind of attention, Mali, Burkina, didn't receive them when the military took over power there. Are they aware that Russia is backing some of them? Although the Russians have denied backing Niger or even interested in what is going on, we know their antecedents. We shouldn't take their statements seriously. When they deny something, the next day they do the complete opposite. Remember what they said before the invasion of Ukraine, only to invade them a few days later. There's a reason Mali, Burkina, and Guinea have all declared support for Niger, and they are willing to put boots on the ground in case there's military intervention in Niger. Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso recently met Putin in Russia. No one knows what they discussed. Burkina and Mali have all dropped French as their official language, so there's serious resentment by their citizens against France. There's presence of Russians in Mali. Traore even eulogized Putin. that they can buy whatever they want from Russia, unlike the West that gives conditions and in some cases they won't even sell to you.
Ils ne refusent rien. En fait, tout ce qu'on veut acheter, la Russie accepte nous vendre parce que ce n'est pas le cas avec d'autres pays.
I mentioned the Trans-Saharan pipeline to pipe our gas to Europe. Why should we leave Russia to do the whole thing? And
This brings us to the next reason Tinubu wants to invade Niger. Yes, for economic reasons, the Trans-Saharan gas pipeline moving gas from Nigeria through Niger, Algeria, and crossing the Mediterranean to Europe will bring Nigeria's gas to Europe. But at the Nigerian military against it, they will earn money if the pipelines passes through their country. The entire region is very volatile. Very few investors will take the risk to lay gas pipelines across the restive region. That's why Morocco proposed an alternative route to Nigeria. Besides, whichever route they take to bring the gas to Europe, Russians don't like competition. The major reason they invaded Ukraine was because the huge gas reserves off the Ukrainian coast was about to be mined by oil and gas conglomerates. With the situation on ground there, no mining can take place for now. Russia, having been cut off from supplying gas to Europe, they won't allow Ukraine to do that either. Coming back to Nigeria and looking at the economic situation on ground, Nigerians urgently need more gas pipelines spread across many cities as alternative to petrol. Whether it's CNG, LNG, we need them now to sustain our economy instead of selling gas to other people. So instead of wasting money in the guise of restoring democracy in another country, why not use the money to better the lives of Nigerians who own the money in the first place? We need serious investment in road infrastructure. Look at our federal roads. How can this kind of roads exist in Nigeria and you're talking about restoring democracy in another country? This is what causes military coup in the first place, when elected politicians don't deliver dividends of democracy and good governance to the people. People will simply lose hope in democracy. Yes, you can't give what you don't have. Someone that committed a political coup and rigged an election is talking about restoring democracy in Niger. Is this real? Many African politicians don't obey the rules that guide democracy. They don't respect the separation of powers between the different arms of government. They see themselves as kings that everyone must be subservient to them. They are very reckless and lawless. They waste money on frivolities while their people suffer. The money spent by National Assembly members to fuel their cars in their convoys on a daily basis can build homes to resettle thousands of people living in IDP camps across Nigeria. That's just for one day. Imagine what the yearly budget can achieve if directed to infrastructure that will benefit the people, instead of wasting them to fuel cars to take one man to work. What about the executive arm? Let's even leave politicians, because we already know the kind of waste they incur on a daily basis. Why should the Inspector General of Police be using long convoys just to go to work? What about the police commissioner in a state, or a colonel, or brigadier general? You see them with their insignia in full display on their cars. These are security personnel that should be riding in unmarked cars to blend into the society like any other person. Drive yourself to work, or maybe get a driver if you can afford one. It is simply a waste to be driving in convoys and blaring sirens all the time when there is no emergency. That's why the money doesn't get to the security personnel that deserve them. The low-ranked officers are always at the front line. They face more risks. Their lives are more exposed to danger. At the end of the day, they are paid peanuts compared to what senior officers earn. In Western countries, the difference between the salaries of a low-ranked officer to a colonel or a commissioner is small, unlike the huge gulf in Nigeria. This is why many have resigned from the army in the past few years. The compensation is not commensurate to the amount of work they do. That's why they transfer the anger and frustration to citizens who have nothing to do with their problems. That's why they collect money from motorists on the highway. Not that it's an excuse, but the government should do better. The third reason is corruption. Military interventions cost money. All the interventions Nigeria did through ECOMOG in the 90s, they will allocate billions of naira or even dollars. They will never account for them in the end. It will be an avenue for them to steal money and launder them to foreign countries where it will be used to develop their economies. While Nigeria and Africa, where the money comes from, continues to be at the pre-developmental stage, not even developing. How many centuries will it take us to become a developed economy? When we build single roads and by the time we come back a few years later to build the one adjacent to it, the first one has completely deteriorated. So we are running around in circles. In 500 years, we will still be doing the same thing. That means we will never achieve developed status. Why not map out all the roads in a city and build all of them at once within 2 years? Yes, get a loan, award the contracts to many contractors, and focus on maintenance and repairing the loans. That way, our streets will look serene, not dusty. The government can now force all landlords to paint their homes. Everywhere will be looking clean. We will also reduce the incidence of malaria because all drainages are covered. They know the right thing to do, but they won't do it because there's more money to be made by constructing single roads. They don't even do maintenance. They allow the road to deteriorate completely so that they can rebuild it for more money. The fourth reason is because Tinubu wants to impress France and United States. By fighting their proxy war, he feels he might get their full support. As someone that rigged the election and has legitimacy problems, which of course was the fear of many before the campaigns, that the West having a file on Tinubu might help them to get whatever they want from Nigeria. So in other words, he will work in their interest first before that of Nigeria. Remember that immediately after the coup in Niger, the European Union and France stopped all funding and aid to Niger. The Nigerians retaliated by blocking uranium exports to France and the United States. They've even gone as far as telling them to vacate their military bases in Niger. So despite their being very poor and the sanctions already biting, they can't even pay workers' salaries. They are still insisting that they be left alone as a sovereign nation to solve their problems by themselves. Why will an outsider intervene in this situation if not for ulterior motives? Why can't the countries who have military bases in Niger do the work themselves? Why involve Nigeria? Will the United States invade Mexico if the military took over power there? Will France do it in Portugal? Why is Niger different? That's why the Northerners, who by the way will be the most affected if the situation ever escalates, they should make a statement through their representatives in the National Assembly to make sure that they do not authorize any invasion of any country if he ever decides to escalate the situation. Besides, ECOMOG wouldn't be battling only Niger. Guinea, Mali, Burkina, even Chad might commit boots on the ground to defend them. And it will worsen the security situation in northern Nigeria because Niger is the only buffer we have between us and Libya. Also, many Nigerians living near the border with Niger can trace their ancestry to Niger and vice versa. Even Buhari's father was from Niger. Will he support Nigeria going to war with his father's country? A poor country that will have nothing to gain from. It's very hard to see a northerner in support of a military intervention in Niger, even in the military, considering the leak of deployment of troops, which ordinarily cannot happen without the express approval of top military hierarchy. Let them use the money to solve our numerous problems, save our democracy, observe rule of law and human rights.
All right. I believe you guys have watched that video. It's very interesting video they put together for us by Ned Media. I give credit to Net Media. He always put this nice video together for us every time, which is very interesting. Like I said, I like how he always analyze this thing. Because sometimes when people like us that do the live program, blogging, when we speaking, when we trying to analyze or telling the people something that we feel in our own opinion, people don't want to believe us. They don't want to, accept our own idea of how we do things or what we feel. But at the same time, we still have to keep saying it. Either the people accept or not, either they believe in what we are saying or not, we still have to keep saying it. We can't stop talking about it. Because if we stop talking about it, the people in power, we think everything they are doing, they will think it's right. And we, the citizens, are the one that we're going to face the drums, dance to the beat when the war started. Because whenever if they start the war, it's not going to affect this politician, because their own children and their family are not in Nigeria. And 99% of them have the plan B. They have a standby jet. They have all the means of running out of the country, run away when they start war. But guess what? The citizen, the regular people that don't have any option will be the one that face the war and use their life to defend the war. And then when the war is over, this same politician that run away will come back again, still want to govern over us. That's why sometimes when we say the military is not good, sometimes it might sound not good, but when people think about the situation that is going on in their country, sometimes they will be like, we rather have the military than these people. These people have been taking us for fool for a long time. So we can't be doing this all the time because it's not working. So we rather just accept this, the military system. Because in Africa, democracy is sweet to pronounce and to say, but it's not working for us. Even though military is not going to work for us too, because the way the military work is, whenever the military comes to power, the military also answer to the West. Whoever pushed them in power from the West, that's who they answer to. Because there's no any African military, no any African country military that has power by himself that can stand alone. Because there's no any African country that's producing weapon. And if you are not among the producing weapon country, you cannot stand by yourself. You need somebody to back you up to supply you a weapon. So it means you see a puppet to one of the Western country. So that's why I can't support the military era when the military take the power back. I can't support it because, to be honest, it sounds good, it sounds reasonable, but it's not realistic. When the military comes to power, they have to answer to either the United States or Russia or China or France or Germany. They have to answer to one of these people, because the reason is because the African countries don't produce any weapon. So because they don't produce weapon, they need a country that will supply them weapon to defend themselves or to be used to guide themselves. So whoever supply them weapon will be the one controlling them, because it's going to be the one that will tell them how much weapon they're going to set to them, how they're going to use it, and then they're going to be the one that will say, we're going to train you on how to use this weapon. So it's me, they are still puppets to that people. Because if that person say, well, I'm done, I'm not going to sell you a weapon anymore, they are in trouble. That's what the United States always do. They back people up. They can supply them weapons, they can supply them military to guide them, but at the same time, you answer to them. Whatever they want, you say yes. So, the only one that's supposed to be working for African, that the citizens are supposed to enjoy, is in this democracy. But the African leader have turned democracy to nothing but the only way of stealing savant the money, because it's the only easier way to steal. Because if anybody in the power, any elected official steal money, he understands that it's not going to face the firing square. They're going to take him to court. It's going to face this regular procedure, and then the judge is going to take a long years before they can finalize his decay, before they can jail him. He can spend 10 years in and out of the court. So he's going to keep enjoying that money that he stole when the judiciary are still working on it. And he understands that once he links to any political power that is in the office, once he's linked to them, they will pardon him. They will let him go. That's what is happening in Nigeria. All the people in the power now, they are a bunch of ex-conflict. There are a bunch of people that have a case with EFCC or one way or the other. There are a bunch of people that already stole the people money from the national cake. But guess what? Because the judiciary is so corrupt too, they can't jail them, so they let them go in and out, so they are enjoying the stolen wealth. And they understand that if they move close to anybody that is in power, their sin is forgiven. That's why they move to the one in power now. That's why you can see every bunch of them in this ministerial list. They are just submit to the house. You can see there are a whole bunch of ex-governors that lost the election, that was not able to come back as a governor. And a bunch of ex-people that has a case with either EFCC or ICPC. But because they are already linked to the government in power, now their sin is being forgiven, so they can enjoy the stolen money. That is the dangerous about the democracy in Africa. They see the democracy in Africa as the way of stealing. The best way to steal money in Africa is the democracy way, because you're not going to go to prison right away. Because they're going to say you have to follow the due process. If it's in the military era, you steal money, you face the firing square right away. Even if you get the power by coup, you should know that one day somebody is going to take the power from you by coup. So it means in the military, nothing is last. You are there for now. Tomorrow you might be killed and somebody take the power from you. Bro, but when we talk about the democracy, it's not like that in Africa. In democracy, they can steal the election. In democracy, they can steal the people's mandate. All the election they be doing in Africa is always fake election. They just select each other in power. Even some part of the country in Africa, the president will change the constitution, amend the constitution to make him go for the third time or fifth time. Or even some of them will change the constitution to be able to run for the lifetime. Is that a democracy? Is that how the United States run their own democracy? Is that how the Western country run their own democracy? And they are the ones bring the democracy to us. And when these people are changing the constitution to suit them, the Western world will never say anything. Because they understand all those people are their puppets. Whatever they ask them to do, that's what they do. They let them stay in power as long as they let them steal every African resources. That's why when any African leader can go as far as to change the constitution of his country to make it stay in power for life, the Western will not say any single thing because he favored them. But when the military comes to power, that's when the Western will realize, oh no, we can't allow the coup, because they know that once the military comes to power, their own interest is gone. Because the way the military is going to deal with them is going to be different to the way the politician, the democracy people that come through the democratic way is going to deal with them. Because they know it's going to be hard for them to use the military leader as a puppet. And they understand that. That is why the Western will never let the African rest. The next war they're trying to fight now is in the Africa. It's already in their blueprints. long time ago. People don't pay attention. It's already in their blueprint long time ago that the next fight now is going to be in the African. They're going to use the African as a battleground. Conflict between the Russian and the West, it's going to be in the Africa. Using the African as a battleground. They never fight the war in their own land. The war they are doing in Ukraine, they are regretting that they started that fight in their own Western country. They're regretting it because they don't want any war to happen in the Western country. They want everything to be happen outside Western country, either from the Middle East or from Africa. The one that happened in Ukraine, it was a big mistake for them. And they will never let that happen again. That's why they are moving the fight between the Russian and the West from Ukraine. They are trying to shift it to the Africa. Take the battleground to the Africa. Well, I'm just trying to, say this for those of you that's watching me, wherever you're watching me from, please share this program, like this program. I don't know what's going on by internet, kind of a little bit crazy today. It might be the internet or it might be my system just frozen. I don't know which one of it. So, for those of you that I want to call in, you can call to +1 817 677 8210. So that's the number for the WhatsApp for those of you that want to text me a message. You can text message to that WhatsApp number and I'm going to reply you anytime. Or you can DM me as you always do to my own Facebook page, 360 Opinion on Facebook page. And then if you want to follow me on YouTube, you guys have it at 360 Opinion on YouTube. The Twitter is 360_opinion on Twitter. Instagram is the same thing, 360.opinion. Once you type 360 Opinion, you will see the logo that will let you understand this is the channel you're looking for. So, I thank every one of you. I appreciate you for wherever you're watching from. You can call into the program if you feel like to call in, to say something. I don't know if you guys is watching me live. Some people are texting me messages say the internet is skipping. I don't know why it's skipping or why it's angling. I can see it's going good here. I think there's too much stuff going on around here that need to shut down. Okay. I will try to work on it. During the day like this, the internet is always kind of crazy. So, but I appreciate you guys, wherever you're watching me from. So, what is going on in your own area? If you have anything you want to share in your own opinion about your situation in Nigeria that is going on around you, please feel free to text me a message or feel free to call to the live program and share your own opinion. And then you can leave a comment, share this program, like it. Let me know what you're thinking about what we just watched. Like I said, the only reason why the president wants to go in war with the Niger, because that's not concerned us, it's because according to law, that we allow him to stay in power for a long period of time, regardless of what the outcome of tribunal, because the constitution said if there's a war in Nigeria or Nigerian territory that is affecting Nigerian, all the elections should be granted. So he knows that. So that's why he's trying to weigh all his options so he can go to war with other country. So before I go, I don't want to take you longer. I'm going to come back to the program later in the day. I make a program yesterday about this. I make a video yesterday about the religion in Nigeria, especially in Yoruba land. For those of people that want to start fighting unnecessary war in Yoruba land, I make video about it and I share my opinion, even though I make it in my own Yoruba language. So I share my own opinion. In case I see anybody that want to reply me about that video, I want to say something, I'm available for you. You can come out with make your own video, talk about it, or reply me. Then I'm going to come out again and reply you, because the Yoruba land belongs to every one of us, and no one has a monopoly of crazy in that land. We all Yorubas. So, being said this, I really appreciate every one of you. I'm going to go now and to tonight, I might come back to the live program tonight. Mostly, every time I come on live program, mostly in Nigerian time, people are already be sleeping because I'm not a blogger, so I'm not online all the time. I only come on live program whenever I have time to talk about something that's really important or something that I say that I need to talk about. So that's when you can only see me on live program. So don't think maybe I'm doing this for a living. No, I'm not doing this for a living. I got my own jobs. So and I have business to taking care of. But at the same time, we come on live program and discuss what is going on in our country, and then we deliberate about it. And I share my own opinion on it. As you all know, on this program is an opinion program. Everything we say on this program is our own opinion, and we have rights to it. As long as we don't accuse anybody, and then we have right to our own opinion to share it whenever we want. At the same time, you have right to your own opinion. That doesn't necessarily mean your opinion should align with my opinion. No, don't get me wrong. Every one of us have right to our own opinion about the situation around us. So you can share your opinion. I have right to share my own opinion too. You don't have to believe in my own opinion. At the same time, I don't have to believe in your own opinion. But we can meet in the middle of the way and share different opinions and see how we can come out with something or a good solution to the situation of our country. So, because of this, I will be back later in the day for the program. I thank you all wherever you're watching me from Nigerian, from any part of Western country, people that are watching from Europe, or those of you that's going to watch this program later. I thank you. I really appreciate you. Thanks for being sharing this program. Thanks for watching it. I know I don't buy you a data. I'm not the one giving you a data, but I appreciate you whenever you watch this program. Please, every time you watch my program, just give me a thumb, either thumb up or thumb down. It doesn't matter. Just to show the sign that you watch this program. Or leave me a comment how you feel about it. If you say anything sloppy, just give me a comment. Or if you say anything I say wrong that I need to correct, give me a comment so that I can come back in the next program and correct it. Okay. I stand to be corrected. So not everyone knows everything. Okay, we all learning. Okay, but at the same time we learn and we share our opinion based on what we learn. So that's about it. I thank you all. I'll be right back in the later in the day for the next program. Before then, peace out and have a blessed day. Stay safe. Be good out there. Help your neighbor. Help your friend. At this time of hour, we are going through a lot of stuff in this country, Nigeria now. Please, help as much as possible you can help, because you don't know what situation you're going to be tomorrow and who you're going to need their help. So, you might be somebody you help today, might be able to repay you back tomorrow, or somebody else. We have to be together, be our own brother. The politicians don't care about us. We have to care about each other. Please, help as many as you can so that we can survive this storm together. Like I said, the storm is still coming. It's not here yet, in my own opinion, but I want every one of you to brace yourself, hang on to it. Don't spend your money on unnecessary stuff. Something you don't need at this time of the year in Nigeria, don't buy it. Don't just spend your money on something that doesn't make any sense. Put your money on surviving mode. That is the situation for right now in Nigeria. For the meantime, I thank you. I appreciate you. Have a blessed day. Peace out.
Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. Inside their mouth, truth to know day. Inside their eyes, corruption day. Inside their heart, wickedness day. Once they get into power, now when to time for gain, now in their brain, then we type one man will change. In the name of change, why? Change. They combine those with change. Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. If they say shine your eyes, oh. Them promise us water.
We don't see.
Up till today,
We don't see.
we not they get water.
Yes, yes.
Them promise us light.
We don't see.
Up till today,
We don't see.
we not they see the light.
At all, at all.
Them promise us road.
We don't see.
Up till today,
We don't see.
Jaga Jaga road we dey.